Greetings all you maniacs and minds and grinds. Welcome back to another Warframe weapon showcase. Today we are going to be taking a look at the infested claws, the whatever the hell that even says. I don't know. I almost want to call them like the Keratinos claws, whatever. So these are infested claws that you get the stuff from Father, and these things are amazing. Despite the fact they don't red crit, I know I can hear everyone saying, but red crits are the most necessary thing. You have to red crit. No, I'm about to show you why when we do Steel Path. So, as claws, they have stances that are all pretty damn decent. I prefer Malicious Raptor. I know most people prefer Beryllium Storm. I do not prefer that at all. And this thing has one innate viral. So, in Steel Path, what I'll mostly do sometimes, not all the time, I'll simply put on Corrosive, so I have Corrosive and Viral. And two, this thing has an interesting passive. So, when you're at max combo, you actually do a heavy attack and you get bonus range for about 3 minutes. And the range is, I want to say it's around pole arm range. It's a lot. So, I don't know how well I can actually demonstrate this, but with primed reach, I think this thing has about 10 meters of range, or something like that. No. Okay, so it has about 4 meters of range. I know that's like puny, but it really doesn't matter because the stances for claws are pretty damn mobile and hit so fast that range doesn't matter. So let me actually go ahead and get into max combo, and to make this even easier because I can't exactly spawn a bajillion enemies in the Simulacrum, I will be using Nerman. And when I go into the Steel Path, I'm not going to be using Nerman just to prove that you don't need it, because it's true, you absolutely do not need it. But also this will just showcase the damage of this weapon. So with Weeping Wounds, this thing immediately goes over 100% status chance, and it does, a lot of damage. Yes, Vermilion Storm technically is stronger, but I do not like that stance. It really is just not for me. Okay, so max combo, and I do a heavy attack. And then you see that the claws are actually physically extended. And now your range is, I think it gives it like 2 more meters of range. Something like that. Let me actually go ahead and kill these enemies and then respawn them. So before it was like 4 or 5 meters of range, probably a bit more than that. Now it's about 8 meters. So it effectively doubles your range. So, and yeah, this of course applies to things like primed reach. So if you have a ribbon for this weapon that gives you even more reach, and you're able to, on your build, put primed reach and your ribbon, you can start to see where this thing gets an enormous amount of range. So this range lasts, like I said, for 3 whole minutes. And it's super duper easy to get back. Anyway, for the Steel Path portion of this video, I'm going to put back on Zeneric, and I'm actually going to go ahead and take Ash. Now, Ash actually synergizes well with this weapon. This weapon slashes a lot, especially because of stances. And guess what Ash's passive does? Yeah. And I'm invisible the entire time. Not that I get stealth bonuses, really. But it's beautiful. Ash, I feel like a lot of people, I know people use him for melee, of course, but I don't really see Ash all that often in the Steel Path. But holy fuck, he's amazing in the Steel Path. Seriously, give him a try. And this is my build with him. Now, I'm not using like Fatal Teleporter Seeking Shuriken, because Seeking Shuriken I feel needs a buff. The base armor percent by default should be a bit more. That's not the real problem. The real problem is Shuriken itself can only target 1 or 2 enemies at a time, really. I wish you could hold it down and throw out a flurry of shurikens. That would make the ability so much cooler. I have Arcane Fury here for more melee damage, although honestly, it doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna get rid of it, and I will be bringing my Panzer because this is who I take on the Steel Path all the damn time, because screw trying to take a Smita or an Ardatsvakavat, because they die in like 2 bullets, and that is not fun to have to try and revive them. I'm not going to be using the Proboscis Ceranos or my Spore Lacer. I'm only going to be using the Claws. So again, this is the build. Now, technically, you don't need Organ Shatter. You could put Heat here, and that's completely fine. And remember how I mentioned that most of the time I would put like Voltaic Strike on? I'm not even going to do that. I'm not even going to go with Corrosive and Viral. I'm just going to go with Viral. And I'm not going to be taking the Kuvanukor. So these stats are a bit bumped up because I do in fact have Steel Charge. So with all of that nonsense being said, let's go ahead and go into Steel Path. And I will stay long enough, 5 minutes, to see at least one Acolyte and see how fast these things tear them apart. So I could go ahead and go into Mott because there's shielded and non-shielded enemies, but nah, I'd rather just bully the Grunier. So this also will just show that Nerman really isn't 100% needed. If you're doing really long survival runs and you're only using melee and any of that nonsense, and you're not really doing Steel Path because the amount of enemies here is quite huge, you don't need Nerman. So not even combo build up, and this thing really shines once the combo gets up a little bit. But, you know, gotta keep invisible, and yeah. Okay, max combo, heavy attack, and by the way, the heavy attack is a spin that does so much damage. So, you know, you literally just moving forward and spamming your melee key. For me is E. And you know, this is Steel Path with melee. It doesn't matter what melee weapon you're using, pretty much. It really never really matters too much. Also, by the way, Ash with like 50k bleeds and the enemies are procced with Viral. Yeah, Ash plus the Panzer is kind of gross, to be honest. It's a little disgusting. I am going to do something very flashy. So, you guys have probably seen this in the Ash ins and outs, but yeah, you can do this. I do recommend doing this, not just because it's cool, but it also makes you invincible, and nothing can disrupt you like this. Absolutely nothing, not even nullifiers can disrupt you like this. And also, this just gives more damage, and your combo counter keeps up a bit. Okay.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area.
I know I'm spamming my 4 a lot, but you know. With this amount of enemies, it is not hard to keep your combo high. It's not hard at all. Because I'm just walking forward and spamming E. And this is how fast I am tearing through these guys. I would tear through them even faster if I was using Corrosive. Because guess what? Corrosive on melee is actually better in these kind of circumstances than Viral. Yes, Viral does work well with melee, especially melee that can guarantee slash procs like Claws can because of their stances, but it's not needed. A lot of the whole like meta crap that people are I see and hear about in my clan or Discord are like, oh, you viral melee, eh. And yeah, like, I'm just gonna do the melee trick again. Now I have more now I have more reach for 3 minutes. Double reach. I think it's about double. But you know, Just wait until the Acolyte comes here. He will be absolutely obliterated. Because, I mean, this glass crap, I really wish would stop. I killed the fucker, by the way. I'm done with Glassmaker. That fucker is in a goddamn jar. Why the hell are people still getting glassed? DE, is it so hard to disable it for people that actually have the Glassmaker sword in their inventory? I guess it is. And yeah, my combo goes away every single time I do the heavy attack, but who cares? I'm already at max combo again. You see how fast that is? And yeah, I'm doing this much damage without red crits. Now, I'm not saying red crits aren't strong. They are, but they're not needed. Seriously, they just look pretty. I know that's what most people care about, is looking pretty, but at the end of the day, you're fighting AI, you're fighting stupid AI, and this game is literally casual babby mode. It's so easy. Even Steel Path and Arbitrations are supposed to be hard content. No, they're really not. And yes, I do have endgame builds. And yes, I have like the strongest mods in the game. And yes, I do have builds that are quote-unquote min-maxed. But it's really not rocket science to make your builds super duper strong. And to be honest, you don't really need Prime Breach. But I do in fact recommend Condition Overload. Here comes Duder. Oh, it's Torment. Easy. You need red crits, by the way. I'm just standing still. Easy. I have a resource booster, by the way. That's why there was 4. Yeah. This is an MR9 weapon, by the way, and it performs this well. So, with all that being said, there really is, like, no downside to this weapon. The stances, all of them are very good, and I think they're decently common or decently cheap. It has innate viral, the unique awesome passive of you melee attacking at max combo to get more range for 3 whole minutes is fantastic. The speed on these weapons are good. An attack speed of about 1 is really good for melee weapons. Anything over 1 is a bit too fast, and anything under like 9.0 is a little too slow. So this thing is really nice. So 13% critical chance, I know it's very tiny, and 4.0 critical multiplier, I know it's very tiny. This thing, you know, this should be through the roof. This should be through the roof. But the status and the base damage with the combo is all this weapon really needs. I know this base damage looks small, but you have to keep in mind of what Condition Overload is doing. So, anyway. These Infested Claws are absolutely fantastic. Definitely go after them. I highly recommend them. And thank you guys so much for watching. Now remember, in Trilby, we trust.